the first crushing no was actually my hospital that I worked for, because oftentimes people don't know this, but when you work for a company, depending on what you do, but oftentimes regardless of what you do, if you think of something related to your job or while at your job, then your company may have intellectual property rights over that invention. So kind of one of the first steps that I took was to provide the information about my idea, my product, to the hospital I was working for. And it was some guy in an office somewhere, and he, they're looking more for like glues and new bones and kind of crazy out there medical inventions. And that's not what my product is. It's much more of a consumer product. Certainly it has some potential medical applications, which we're looking into now. But at that time, it was much more of a consumer-based product, similar to like swings or things like that to soothe and comfort and help babies sleep. So I provided all the information to this guy in an office, filled out the forms, and about 2 months later, essentially got an email and a phone call back saying like, this idea isn't patentable. It's not good. We have zero interest in pursuing this with you. Like, it's a total failure. Have a nice day. That's what I've learned, is that like to ultimately trust in yourself, there is usually market value. You just have to find what that kind of unique piece is. Like, okay, you're inventing a desk or you're creating a desk. Why is your desk better? And that's the piece that you need to come up with. And then you need to make sure that there's a big enough audience out there. And once you find your people and you're hearing, yeah, that's a great idea. I love it. I love the idea of a, standing desk with a, medicine ball attached to it. I don't know, just like whatever you think of. And you find those people, then go with it. But if you're hearing no all the time, maybe that's something to reconsider. But if it's less than half or half the time, that's like to be expected. Right. And a lot of people actually don't want you to succeed, I
agree.
Or they're just jealous that I'm stuck doing this job and, here's my coworker, succeeding here, there. And that's not always true, but there's certainly a lot of the Debbie Downers end up being the people who live in fear all the time or, don't take risks and probably should take more risks. And so they're just jealous a bit about what you're doing. Anyone worth their weight, anyone who really, truly wants to do business with you understands that contracts are important and why. And they will be willing to sign a contract / negotiate a contract with you. And if a contract doesn't, if it's not mutually agreeable, then it's not worth signing because, it ends up getting to a situation where you might be getting steamrolled and you take it because you're, the piddly, you're the low man on the totem pole, or so you think. And then it ends up being this, it just doesn't feel good. It's not right. It goes back to kind of doing things out of fear. If I don't sign the contract as is, I'm going to lose this opportunity. And those opportunities are probably best to be lost. But 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10 in my experience, the people who are serious and want to do business and know how business works are willing to sign contracts and negotiate contracts. And again, if you can't find a mutually agreeable way to work, then it's best to break it off then. Oftentimes I would get this feeling of the logical thing to do, right? If I plug in all the numbers, if I plug in this, that, and the other, if I look at the facts and figures, going with my friend's fiance was a better choice than this fulfillment center. But it was just this little voice in the back that was kind of yeah, but. And it was, it kept kind of trying to fight the logic. And usually the fear comes in because logic is what we, or at least me, is the type, I'm okay, logically I need to take a right and a left when I'm driving down the street and do this, that, and the other. And it's not the adventurous kind of way. And it's this, it's speaking more, again, from that fear-based situation. So kind of trusting your gut and knowing what's, and it's honestly sometimes doing things that don't seem like a good idea because they're going to cost you more money than they're worth. But there's something in you that's yeah, but that's going to be just going to be better for you in the long run. Don't fear, trust your gut, because those two things combined, you've caught me on a day where I'm not going to cry, but I have literally cried tears of joy for the entire roller coaster that was Tranquilo, that is Tranquilo, and I would not be where I am today, personally and professionally, without it. And so if you had told me when I was first starting out, just having this idea, I would have essentially said, you're crazy. There's no way I can I can have an idea, create a product, sell that product, build a business and sell that business. I have zero experience doing any of that. And here's the million things that are going to be involved. I would have quit before I started. Yeah. And fortunately, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And it was piece by piece, bit by bit. It's like climbing a mountain. I kept seeing more and more of what I was up to. And I was like, oh, excuse my French, fuck, what is going on? Why did I do this? But I was already too far in. It's a roller coaster, and there will be ups, there will be downs. And if you don't enjoy even the downs, because they help you enjoy the ups even more. Yeah. So you gotta take it all.